live. Hello, beautiful souls.
Yay.
We're very excited. Welcome to the Bonestone Bash. It's what I've come to call it because it feels like a bash. It feels like an awesome hangout with awesome people doing awesome things. So let me just mute my little thing in the background. Oh, look, I caught it just in time. How fabulous. Right, so I'm
Hi,
here
guys.
with Anna. Say hi,
Yes.
Anna. Do your thing.
I am here. And of course, my son just walked in with his pants on his head. Sorry.
I was trying to make you not recognize me.
Yeah, we don't recognize you.
And this is what happened. This is the life of working mums.
Okay. Come sit
I was just saying to Anna just before, I was a little tiny bit late hopping on because I went out to grab my phone because I've got a bit of an iffy internet connection, and I thought if I need to, I'll have my phone here to piggyback off, so to use my my phone as a hotspot in case my internet drops out because I've had continuous issues. And as I've gone in there to get my phone, my baby girl has decided to just sneak out of her bedroom, open up the door for the first time, and I'm just like, it's the first time she's ever done it. So I was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be asleep. This is my time right now. Anyway, so I had to lull her to sleep. So this is why we're incrementally late. So these things happen, right? These things happen.
Yes.
Anyways, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Happy new moon.
Gotta go.
Happy new moon in Taurus. To all my Taurus friends, I'm a Taurus. So I, of course, love this new moon. I'm feeling incredibly grounded and optimistic. And I don't know about you guys, but when I ground, I do so with so much gusto that it makes me cry. And I cry out of the sheer loveliness and the relaxed sensation that I get. And so as I was walking from school drop-offs this morning, I was really grounding. I was really trying to tap into that fresh, crisp new moon Taurus energy. And I just felt so like happy and healthy and aligned. And it was really, really nice. And then, of course, I get home and my children drive me crazy, and then I'm unaligned again. So, so we've got a few beautiful souls with us here. We have got a jam-packed hangout for you. We're going to cap this hangout at, well, my time, it's going to be about 12 o'clock by the time we finish. So it's an hour and a half, right? It's around about an hour and a half. And I'm like, we're not going to be too rigid about this. If the juice is good and we have the opportunity to keep flowing, we will, but we'll try and cap it at an hour and a half. We've got a lot to fit into that hour and a half. We have got the moon card, which if you're a member of the Bonestone and Earth Flesh Facebook group, you have already seen the video of the moon card. That happened last week, so you guys have been privy to that quite early. So we will be unveiling the moon card for those who are not a member of the group and who have not yet seen it. And we will also be showcasing, oh my gosh, we're going to be showing 2 new cards. 2 new cards that were planned in the background while the moon card was developing. 2 new cards that no one's, apart from Anna and I, have seen yet. Well, my daughter Savannah has seen it, and her expression or her reaction was, wow. So I know we got a good one. We got a good one there. So Anna, I'm going to hand over to you. I'll mute my mic
Okay.
because I'm going to squeal, and if I squeal, then the camera will focus on me, and I don't want the camera to detract from its job right now. So guys, Take a deep one. Oh my God, take a deep one. Go, Anna.
All right, so most of you, the ones who were here last time, we worked on the moon card, and we sketched it out, and we posted the video of how it was created and what it looks like. So for those of you, this is just seeing it in person, I guess. For those of you who have not seen it, well, this is it right here. So I'm gonna pull it up. Okay, so this is the moon card, and let's try and bring it a little closer. Let's get this light on it. There we go. Okay. And if you remember initially, so we have the figure, she's drawing down the moon, and we decided to make the moon larger, you know, predominant, and obviously she's in the moonlight. Her gestures is almost like she's taking in all this energy. And initially we were going to go with having the candles around her, kind of defining the circle, the space that she was in. But we were talking and like, well, the circle, you visualize this energy that is delimiting the space. So why not show that, and show that with the, you know, the blues and the yellows and greens, and just have that space be visible. And so here she is. She is looking up. And I'm not sure if I can do this on a chat, but I will try as I'm going through, perhaps placing, because obviously it looks different in when you add the border, but it's not letting me. So I was going to put in the photo of how it looks like in the actual card. So that's the moon. I will show it again at the end. Okay. So are you guys ready? We have 2 more cards that we did that you do not know.
Okay,
And,
so
this is your surprise.
this is a surprise.
Yeah.
This is a surprise. It's a surprise, right?
Okay.
It's not just a committee. So, okay.
The next one that we worked on is, all right, should I have them guess? No.
That will take forever.
It'll take forever, right? All right, here we go. This is the High Priestess. So the idea of the High Priestess is we wanted to keep the idea of the 2 pillars still present, but actually show them a little bit different. So in front of her is the dark pillar. She is more of she's part of the white pillar, so she has more of the white tone to her. Behind her is all her knowledge and the nebula, this colorful nebula. And actually within it, there are elements from the previous cards that we've created. So I'm going to try and go a little bit closer. Let's see, bring it as close as I can. You have here the owl from the Hierophant, the crystal sphere that is from the Magician. You have the gold weaver spider that is present in the Fool. We also introduced the key because the key is also, you know, a symbol of opening spaces and knowledge in itself. So and also we have, I can never pronounce this rune. How do you pronounce it? Dagaz?
Dagaz, yeah.
Yes,
Dagaz.
I pronounced it right. Okay. So, and we have the rune of Dagaz present here too. So this idea that she is going forward with all this knowledge, and she is unafraid. She is very sure of herself, and she's moving on with all this. So this is what she brings within us. So this is the High Priestess. Do you have anything to add, Avalon?
Yes, yes. We attempted, because we are both quite, you know, we're quite in love with our Rider-Waite-Smith system, and, you know, the black and white pillars of the High Priestess traditionally are indicative of, you know, a balance. And so achieving the balance was incredibly important, but also bringing forth something else. Now, the symbolism of the rider is so beautiful. It's very hermetic though, and I wanted this one to be far more intuitive. And so she is almost otherworldly in her skin tone, and for me that is exactly what a priestess is. She's otherworldly. She has a foot in both worlds, and so we're looking at a priestess, you know, of the veil here. And she takes with her the power of the moon and the power of water and the power of the key and the deeper insight and the knowing. And with it, she travels. She travels throughout her landscape and she ushers through this knowing. Her energy also permeates out into every direction so that those who enter in contact with the High Priestess, they enter in contact with her magic and with her gift. And her gift is that of intuition. It's deep knowing. It's knowing so deeply that she is incapable of articulating it. And that's how I've also always seen the High Priestess. And because of that deeper knowing and that inability to articulate it out completely and fully, we decided to add the symbolism there, so there is more to hold on to. The owl for wisdom, it throws back to the Hierophant. The golden silk orb weaver, it's right there to anchor in the earth energy at the very beginning of the Fool's journey, and so on and so forth. And so there are so many elements in this particular card that help the reader to pick up on exactly what it is that's going on there with the High Priestess and her aspect of inner knowing and her aspect of carrying forth all this symbolism. She is that card that takes all the symbolism of all the arcana and brings it forward. And she's really carrying with her a lot of inner knowledge. And so I wanted to really embody that as best as I can, obviously without overwhelming the space to the point where every single card symbolism was in there, because then that would have just been ridiculous. So we used some of the key elements, and I absolutely freaking love this card. I love it. I love it because it's got the black and the white, and it's also got this nebulous color to it, which brings an inner reality, an inner landscape aspect to the card itself. So very exciting.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, and we do have the moon also, the crescent moon that brings from the actual moon card. We have that element in there.
And the lunar moth as well. We've got the lunar moth in there.
Yes. Oh, yes. The moth. There it is. In case you missed it. Okay. And last but not least. All right. Let me bring this a little like this so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. We have ta-da, the High Priestess, sorry, the Empress. The Empress. This is the Empress card. So we decided to take a different approach on the Empress because she is the motherly aspect, but you usually see her not necessarily in an active form. She is almost always shown passive, either cradling her belly or, you know, she's holding a child. So it's either the before or the after state. We decided to show her in the actual birthing state. So she is actually part of nature. As you can see, her body is part of the tree. She merges with the tree and also emerges from it. And she is giving birth to cornucopia. She is actually birthing life and everything that she embodies. So this is a very active Empress.
Yep, it's so perfect. We really wanted to honor the aspects of the Empress that are important to many people, and that is the pregnant belly. The pregnant belly is very important. I happened to know, I happened upon this information because I once upon a time posted a link to a thread stating that when the Hermit card doesn't have his lamp, that's a deal breaker for me, right? And I'm like, what's a deal breaker for you? And a lot of people brought up the Empress and her belly. If the Empress isn't pregnant, that's a deal breaker. And I've always really loved that concept of the Empress pregnant, much more than I like the concept of the Empress with a child. I find that you know, that belly, it's just such a life-giving, you know, incredible thing. And we really wanted her in that state. We really wanted to personify her here as the Earth Mother, the wild feminine. And in order to do that, it can't be a pre-birth or post-birth thing. It has to be an active birth thing. She has to be in the throes of creation. And without being ghastly, because guys, you have no idea what we started talking about. We were like legs spread open, things, you know, we were really going for it. Like we were really going to go very visceral here. But of course, as per usual, saner minds prevailed, and we decided to give birth to this beautiful cornucopia and be discreet with her legs, but still have her, you know, attached to the tree and the arm of the tree coming out, almost like a loving, you know, partner cradling her belly as she's giving birth to this beautiful cornucopia. And the blue sky is there because she's really gifting to the world there, and eventually that gift is going to grow and get out of control, and that's going to be a brand new awesome patch of nature, of forest, of, you know, of landscape. And so yeah, so that's exactly what we tried to create there. And every time I look at it, I just it just makes me want to cry.
Don't cry.
I won't.
Yeah, the branch that is, you know, there to support her. She's not alone, so it's her birthing partner, right?
Yep.
The tree.
Yep. The tree's her birthing partner. That's exactly right. And there's just such color and beauty, and there's such wild feminine here. Her hair is wildly feminine. It's part of the tree. The tree is part of her. She is part of the cornucopia. There's such an interconnectedness here, such a wild, creative, fertile femininity that, you know, it just explodes off the page with this, like, oh my gosh, it's definitely not a typical Empress. Thank God for that.
Yes. So, you know, as always, I'm gonna post the actual tarot template and how you can see it cropped and positioned. It'll be on the Facebook group, so you'll
That's
actually
exactly right. So what Anna was just saying, all of these images will be available on the Bonestone and Earth Flesh Facebook group as per usual. So as soon as this hangout is over, we'll be putting those up there for you guys to see, and that way you can open it up on your own screens and you can have a really good look at it. You can lose yourself in the nebula of the High Priestess. You can really examine, you know, the intricacies of the Empress card. You can look closely at the Moon card. It's amazing. I just wanted to say hello to some people. So we've got Nikki Sparkles here, Amy Palmer, who I know is awake at 1:30 in the morning. You're a champion, Amy. Wow. Soren, hi, Crimson Sweetie, how you going? Christina D, Gargoyle Mistress, Mystic Crone, Farmer something Tempest, hello. Punky Eclectic. Whoa, we've got lots of people here. Chris Ann, how you going? How you going? Jessie's here. Some of our beautiful, you know, regular people that like to hang out with us, they are here. So we are so blessed to have you. We are going to tackle a new card now. We're gonna try and tackle a new card.
Yes, exciting. Are you guys ready?
Let me just say
a little stretch.
Time. Get limber your fingers. Let me just say ahead of time that if you have delicate sensibilities, this is not the card that you want to be present for. This will by no means. I'm trying to give you a public service announcement here. We are going to do the devil, and the devil in the Bonestone deck is a devil. It's a devil, and it's not something that you're going to want to show your kids. So let's I feel so naughty for some reason.
Well, now you're scaring me, because now I'll be like, okay, what's she gonna make me draw now?
Okay, so the image of the devil, gosh, the image of the devil, it visited me a very, very long time ago. And when I first started doing, you know, just tapping into some of the images that I wanted to display in this deck, the devil was one of the, you know, very first cards. I like the big cards in the tarot. They're all big cards, don't get me wrong, but I do love the devil card. I love it for so many reasons. There's a medicine in there, and that's the way that I look at all the cards in tarot. It's the medicine. But sometimes I find that the devil is very soft, And sometimes I find that the devil is very ghastly. And, you know, there are 1,001, if not a million ways to portray one card. And it's up to the artist and the designer and etc. to, you know, tap into the one that's calling to them. And so I'm going to try to do that justice, because I have tried to tame this down, but I have not yet been able to. So the image that I'm going to depict now came out a little bit when we were talking about the Emperor, but now it's going to come out quite a bit more. So get ready, get your sketching hands ready.
I'm taking notes first.
Okay. All right, so this is what I see. Deep red, like bold red. I see this red.
Okay.
This red sky. You know that color, don't you?
Yes.
If anyone doesn't know, that's the backing to the Oracle of Echoes, which is created by Anna. So I thought that would be a surefire reference. I see a beautiful, like black Nubian queen standing on top of a mountain. In this case, it would have to be a small mound of skulls. Thousands of,
oh boy,
not millions. Skulls.
Okay.
Upon her, she is not modestly dressed. She is draped in like fur, but very, very sensually draped, like literally covering a breast and a little bit of the hoo-ha.
Mm-hmm.
And the stance is a power stance, so legs apart upon this mountain of skulls. We're going to call it a mountain. Obviously, the way it will be depicted will be a mound, but it's a mountain of skulls. On top of her head are these ginormous, amazing horns, like brilliantly, like Hellboy horns.
Mm-hmm.
And around her is nebula, and within that nebula, I see vices, and I see descriptions or symbolism of you know, reckless abandonment and, you know, addiction and like aspects of the devil, you know, in a wilder sense. So there's a little bit of room there in the nebula for the symbolism, and the symbolism is obviously the last thing I really consider, and so it's not something that I'm 100% certain of, but I love this. If I can, I'm going to reach for it. And see if I can find it. But I'm reaching for the Bonefire Tarot here. Mm-hmm. And the Bonefire Tarot has a really great devil, a readable one as well. So it's a very readable devil. If you want to say anything, Anna, if you want to start tweaking something over there.
Okay.
Aha. Hang on, I found it. This is the image of the devil. So you can see it here. This young girl, she's actually shackled to the devil, and she has all the vices there. You can see around her all these like vices. And I like that idea of the symbolism all around, and I loved that shackling concept. But this one, I wanted it to be like not shackled. I didn't want it to be shackled, and I wanted it to be just the way. I also wanted to really depict her as quite sensual, because I find that every now and then you want to connect with the devil in a devilish way. Like you want to have a devil of a good time. You want to enjoy, you know, the devilish aspects of life. And sometimes that means being a little bit naughty. And so I wanted her attire to be moderately risque. I did want her to be incredibly tribal. And I want her to be incredibly, incredibly, beautifully black to offset that wonderful red background. Oh, shit. I think my daughter's just come out again. We'll soon find out.
Did you said you wanted her dressed in fur?
Animal skins.
Animal skin, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Crimson. I'm expecting my youngest. My youngest is refusing to play ball. We've done a few of these hangouts with no interruptions, with no childish
Come over
interruptions.
here and hang out with Luke.
It's because of the Empress, you know. It's because we did the Empress card. Wherever there is Empress, children, life, fertility, all that sort of stuff just comes out into the woodworks. It's the beautiful magic of tarot cards, isn't it?
Well, Luke is hovering around too. I can hear him, so we could just put them together, have them have their own little Google hangout. Are you seeing her as a warrior type or not? I mean,
I don't necessarily see her as a warrior. However, that can actually work. It's an image that can work. And I definitely depict strength there, like strength, because there's an aspect of choice there. She stands there and she's very resolute, and she's making a concerted decision to stand upon that to stand upon that pile of skull. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she really fucking enjoys her environment right there. She's in her element, you know. And there has to be some sort of satisfaction to that, and also some form of naughtiness. I don't know a good word for naughty. Naughty is the only one I can think of.
she will be naughty. That's for sure. Now, since we are seeing since we are seeing the tip of this mountain of skulls.
Yep.
And you have the card. I'm using my tablet here. You have the tablet. Sorry, you have the tablet. You have the card that is. You're gonna have probably. So you're gonna see her, but you're gonna see her full body. So you'll be able to probably see you'll be able to see her face, but not like a zoomed
intricate
in
detail. Yeah, no, that I'm sort of aware, which is why her stance was really her stance is quite important. She can't have she can't be languid about it. She has to be like firm.
Yeah. Yep. I got it. And okay, so she's standing. Is she holding anything? Because I'm seeing I have this very What?
Yeah. Give it. What is she holding? Tell me.
Okay, so I was seeing
holding
her,
a severed head. Is she holding a severed head?
Not a severed head, but like a heart with instead of the
yes.
things like snakes coming out of it, instead of you know what I mean, right? Because she's holding like a vice, like the heart is like affected, so.
Yes. Heart, blood down the arm. Yes. Like a vesper, a taipan. What's a really good poisonous snake? Ours is the brown snake. Black mamba. A black mamba. A black mamba.
Black mamba. I have to look that up.
Yes, they have a neurotoxin that can kill a human being in like 10 seconds.
Okay, that's bad.
I'm going to find an image now, and I'm going to send it to you also now. So, black mamba, the things I Google, really, the things I Google. Black mamba. There we go. Yes. Y'all feel like Googling it? This is fabulous. Yeah, it's very black. The snake is very black. Venomous black mamba kills schoolboy. That's not the best. It's not the best headline to read. But that's not the best photo either. They all seem to be like a very similar photo. Hang on, this one looks good. You will freak out when you see this. I'm gonna send it to you right now. Anna and send. Send it through. So it's very like.
Got it. Let me see. Okay.
It's full on.
Oh my God.
It's full on, isn't it?
That's a mean looking snake. All right. That's what I'm seeing, like coming out of the heart kind of thing.
Yep. I like it.
So I'm just gonna, okay, so all right, so making I can't do it because I'm drawing, but I was gonna say we could go over the cards, the previous cards that we did, but that's not gonna work because I'm
no, that's fair enough. You know, as like one of the things that I was teetering with or toying with, what's the word? Toying with, I suppose. Just, you know, I was just having a little affair with is the idea of Medusa as the devil. And how beautifully depicted, like how beautiful she could have been as a devil because of all of those snakes in her hair, for no other reason than all of those snakes in her hair. I just thought that she would make, if every one of those snakes was like hissing forward, that would be amazing.
that would be cool.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Maybe we could put snakes in there.
She could have some snakes in her hair. She can. Like, these are the details. Medusa with black mamba hair. That's what Soren says.
Mm.
It's fabulous. Like with that dripping heart and the mound of skulls and a red backdrop. Just fabulous.
Nobody's gonna want to get that card, you know, right? When they're gonna they're gonna get the deck, they're gonna take it out. I'm gonna want to
get that card. I'll be like, give me the devil.
I'll be like, I don't want that card. Like,
I love the devil.
Pretend like it's not here.
In the meantime, I'm going to flick through some of the decks that are on my table and see if I can't find all of their devils. I'm looking for devils today. And I've got to say that the mythology of the devil is quite the good one. I mean, you know, from a Christian context, we're talking about Lucifer. Sorry. I have a thing with Lucifer. And here we go. In the Steampunk Tarot, and this is by Barbara Moore and Ali Fell. This is one that I've been working with for autumn. You have the devil as the beast, the machine. So you've kind of got the industry aspect of it. And that's a beautiful little aspect. I'm sure there's a good one in the Wild Unknown. I should have just actually, you know, thought about this ahead of time and pulled out all the devils. But sadly, that would mean that I would be organised, and organisation is not something that I'm very good at. I can hear my daughter, and I don't know where she is or what she is doing, which is very interesting. Right. Oh, speaking of snakes, look at that one. That's a good one for a snake.
Oh, that's a good snake.
It's a good snake, isn't it? The Dalinoff devil. I don't have the Dalinoff. I've probably actually missed the devil card altogether, which... No, I've missed it somehow. How could you miss it? It's not meant to be in this deck anyway. Oh, that's death. There's a beautiful death card in here. No, I can't make it happen today. No, it's not going to happen. The devil doesn't want to reveal itself to me today. That's fabulous. Fine, fine. In the meantime, I love the Druidcraft Tarot, right? I love the book. I love the book so much. Let's find. Justice. What is the word that I'm looking for here? Death. Okay, I can never. Can anyone pronounce the name of? You know what? I don't want to pronounce the name. Okay, so they've got, in this particular deck, they've got the devil depicted as Serenus or Canun. What? How do they say it? Canonus. I say Serenus. Anyway, so keywords: potential for abundance, the liberation, mastery of life force, awakening of responsibility, obsession, and materialism. I quite like these associations. And if you look at other decks, they have Canunus. There you go. Thanks, Crimson. If you look at other decks, so you will see that they take either a very dark or a very light. I happen to think that that's, it's almost on the balanced side, but it's a little bit lighter than, say, that middle point, right? Because I find that the medicine of the devil is that reckless abandon, that wild abandon. That so in that way, Serenus is like the wild hunter, and his morals and his ethics are not the same as that of natural humanity, like humanity as they are now. Not natural humanity, but humanity as they stand now. We have different morals, different ethics, and then cross-culturally speaking, different morals, different ethics. Whereas his it's neutral. It's just wild. It's primal, and wild and primal can be so alluring, and it can also be so, ghastly, and it can also be wildly beautiful, and it can be all of those things. So there has to be that middle ground. There has to be the dark. There has to be the light. But it needs to have some kind of, a neutral sense to it. And, not necessarily bad, not necessarily good. It's a function. It's a functional card. It's a medicine card. It's a card that depicts a particular state. And to try and lessen that state in any way, to try and lighten that state up, does no one any justice whatsoever. So for me, it has to be beautifully portrayed as the dark that it is, in keeping with the fact that it's a neutral dark. It's not a malicious dark. It's a dark because there's darkness in the world. And if we ignore that, then we're not going to be able to bring a good balance to a deck in its entirety, because I think the devil is one of those cards that really splits the energies, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I got something for you. Okay, okay, folks, so you use your imagination here, right? Just as always. All right. Can you see her?
Yes.
Okay. So she will have snakes on her hair, like all wild in every direction. The heart is in the hand, and you'll have the snakes kind of coiling around her hand, kind of coming down. So there's this interaction between what's coming out. So like as the vices are linking with her, kind of thing.
Yep.
So what's happening in the heart is also becoming part of her. So it's feeding her, I guess would be the way to say it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she is standing on the skull. So there's going to be more skulls at the bottom. I turned her a little bit. You can see that she's semi-turned, because that way I could incorporate more movement in her, because you don't want her to be two-step. And behind, what would be going on here is you can see this person would be this faded image of somebody's is screaming. There's somebody sad, all these emotions that are being invoked, and we can add different elements, if whatever would depict. But the easiest way to depict something, because is through emotion, right? So you can show, here's the thing, if you're going to show cigarettes or alcohol, I mean drink, you can show grapes, but you have to keep it in tone with the deck itself.
No, I would rather not show things necessarily. Although I do believe that materialism is a devil. I would rather not show things
like coins, like gold. You know what I mean? Like use something that is universally associated with it instead of showing modern stuff, because the deck is doesn't have a modern tone to it. So I guess
it could be diamonds in that case. Instead of coins, it could be like a precious metal, you know, in that regard. But no, I reckon if you've got, look at that. She's a baby in the background.
Hi. She's sneaky.
She's sneaky. Oh, did it not be changed? It's a bum bum. That's motherly duties. What was I going to say? I think that the inclusion of the inclusion of the nebula, I think with like the distorted like faces, I think that's quite enough. I think that's quite enough. I think that the symbolism of the heart will speak volumes as well, because it's like the black heart kind of business, and then the snake, it's like the venom, like, so there's a danger element to it, but there's also a sensual element, because for me snakes are creative. Yeah, you want to sit on my lap? For me, snakes have got that creative sort of svadhisthana element. It's got that shakti, it's got that kundalini kind of energy, and you know, depending on what you read about the do you want to turn around? Depending on what you read about the kundalini, those who say that they've experienced awakening say that they've also experienced hellish ordeals as a result of that. It's a split kind of thing. But I like the idea of the snake bringing about a different element. So, but I do have to go and change a nappy. How's that for you? How's that?
I'm going to go over all the cards from the deck with them, so I'm just going to do a recap while you're doing that.
Beautiful.
So
I'll mute my mic just in case. Oh, I
Is that
almost
cool with you guys? You want the cards again? All of them from the beginning? Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to start from the first card. Let's see, where is it? Okay. So the first card that we did was the Hierophant. And so it was actually a smaller size paper, because that's how I initially thought that I was going to go. But then I just decided to paint everything bigger. So this is the Hierophant. I've seen it on the Facebook group. So we have that one. And then the second one, hold on, let's do this. I'm just trying to adjust my screen here for a second. Oh, I can't see myself, so I can't see what I'm showing you guys. What's going on? Right? Okay. All right. Now I can see. Okay. So the second one was the Queen of Wands. And she is standing here with this beautiful tiger. You have the sunset in the background. She's holding him with this leash, but it's loose. It's a loose leash. We do have the snake here present also. And there's a certain strength. There's obviously strength to her, but and a gentleness at the same time. So we wanted to keep that. So there's that one. And then we have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords. And I noticed a couple of people actually saw this. So we have the Eight of Swords, and typically you see it where the person is surrounded by these swords and unable to leave or doesn't know how to get out of the situation. So we decided to do a little different, right? We put the child version, the inner child, reflected in the water. So you can see the inner child, and she is, you know, standing above it. But the inner child is the one who actually has the swords around. And we have runes at the top and this spring kind of imagery going on. So for those of you who have not seen it, that would be the Eight of Swords card. So we have 10 cards at this point. This is the Emperor card. And yes, there's blood on the ground, on the snow. We have her standing in this position, getting ready to pounce. Behind her, there's the ancestors that are supporting her. And so she's not alone in this effort. We have this red type of mountain going behind. She has the shield. So there's this wild aspect there. Okay. Now we're getting close to, here's the Death card. So the Death card, the roots, the person is, passed away, and the spirit is coming out under the form of the ravens that are taking shape and forming the skull. And also, he is still rooted in the earth in the previous life. He's, moving on, but you have a lot of things going on here. We have symbols that are present there, so those are linking him to the past. And then we do have an emphasis of the bones for Bonestone. See, this is the back of the card. This will be the back of the card. So we do have this symbol of infinity forming and the two leaves. It'll be a little bit cropped, so you won't see probably this section here. You'll see the leaves, but it's going to have to be a little cropped. And then we have the Magician. You guys have known, you've obviously seen him. We developed him on our Google Live chats. He is creating this dragon that has all the elements within. So from his palms, there's the blue energy, there's the green for the earth, fire, everything is coming together. He has behind him his apothecary, and we see the skull. There is the crystal sphere that is also present in the High Priestess. And yes, he does look like Gandalf. Yes, that we were aiming for that. So that is the Magician, and then this is the Fool. So we have this going into the unknown aspect, but we didn't want her going off the cliff. Usually you see the Fool as a male representation. We went with a woman. There's also the fairy world that is coming in place here. There is the gold weaver spider that's present there. And so she's going into this nebula, this universe in itself, and the universe is of the magical. So I'd go in there. I wouldn't jump off a cliff, but there I would go. So we're getting close to the last, in case you came in late. This is the High Priestess. So again, we have the pillar, the dark pillar, the black pillar, the white pillar. She represents the white pillar. And then behind her, you have all this information that she's bringing in with her. So we have elements from the previous cards that are present. because she is all-knowing. She has the owl from the Hierophant. She has the crystal sphere from the Magician. She has the rune Dagaz, and she also has the moth that is present in the moon card, which we'll see. And then and the spider, yes. So that's the High Priestess. And as Avalon mentioned, we did use her skin tone is more ethereal. It's not a human body, so it's not. She's not pink. She's not. You know, she has this otherworldly skin tone. Take my money. Gargoyle Mistress. Oh, thank you. Okay, let's see. Oh, yes. Okay, so the moon card. The moon card, again, we have the moon card. So it's a little different, right? Because usually you see either the moon or the person is with the back towards the viewer and towards the moon. But the moon is present when you're standing underneath the moon. It's present above you, in front of you, and behind you. So, you know, it's there. And we wanted to show not only the moon, but we wanted to show the relationship of the person with that energy, with the energy of the moon. Because that's what the card gives us, right, in a reading. So she is standing there in this field and creating this energy, so creating her sacred space around her, and drawing down this moon energy. So that's the moon. Let's see, am I missing anything? Oh, of course. All right, so the moth. And for those of you that remember, we did include the moths because the moths are present there. Her hair is transforming. It's becoming moth, which is sometimes a symbol used as a symbol itself, and it's an otherworldly symbol. So we are incorporating that in there. And so that's the moon. And there's a little star here, one tiny little star. And the last one is the one you've seen, is the Empress. And she is giving birth to the world. She's in the actual process of creation. She is one with nature. She is nature. Nature is her. She's coming out of nature. She is one with the tree. She is all. So she is not a passive Empress. And that's it. That's my overview.
Thank you for that. That's fabulous. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited because when you see all of those cards continuously, you know, usually I'm fixated on one card and then the other card and then the other card. But then when you do the parade of cards, we're going to have the parade of 78 by the time that this deck is finished. But we've got the parade of cards, yeah. And as they, you know, just come about, and you just start to sort of, I don't know, it feels really magical. It feels really special, and oh my gosh, it's awesome. It's awesome. Please tell me the deck will be available in different sizes. Sadly, it will not be. The more Oshwin song, the cost of printing really dictates how much change I can create within the deck itself, and the printer that I have chosen to go with, that is the cheapest printer that I can find, can only do 500, a minimum of 500. So I was intentionally only going to do 300, but 500 it is, because it was at a good price. And every modification that I make, it means that I have to then purchase another 500 cards, or decks, I should say. And so the more variants I've got, the more costly it's going to be, and the more costly it's going to be, the more the price of the deck is going to have to be raised. And so I'm not looking to make an ultra expensive deck. I'm looking to make a high quality one, and high quality does come at a price, but I don't want it to be a ridiculous price either. So I'm trying to keep it pretty level with what's already out there, and that means having to make a few set choices. But the deck is going to have a beautiful box. The deck is going to be very, very good cardstock. We're looking at 400 GSM at this stage. And, you know, and the deck is probably going to have a book as well. And this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. We being Anna and I, have been book, no book, book, no book, book, no book. I'm going to do a book. No, I don't think I'm going to do a book anymore. It's been so on and off, this book. But after a good talk with Anna, she's like, it really comes down to your editing. For you guys who don't know, my hesitation was, again, the cost, the time, and also the fact that I'm dyslexic. And so writing a book when you're a little bit dyslexic is a challenge. And she's like, no, don't let that disturb you. Just find a really good editor. And as it turns out, I know a really good editor. She's actually here in the chat. You would have seen her name pop up. She's with us at the moment. Her name's Angela Lemanis, and she is Australian, and she has the skills necessary to help me in this particular situation. So I am very lucky to have a very good friend who is an editor. I'm very lucky to have good friends that are artists. I'm very lucky to have good friends, just, you know, skilled friends. And this is what you get when you make friends with witches. They've all got these really awesome skills.
They're in the closet, the skills, right? The witches are out of the closet. The skills are in the closet.
That's it. That's it. It's a thing. It's a thing. Oh my gosh. So yes, it's very, very fun. And all right, so we've actually done all of that. Can you believe that that's only taken a full hour? Can you believe that?
Yeah, it went by fast.
Well, we've got a half hour. Do you want to try and do another one?
Yeah, sure. I was reading some of the comments. There were a couple people that had some suggestions, and I'm just going to go over from the beginning if I can do that. I can't remember now. Somebody said to make the horns larger for the devil, to make them bigger. Let's see. And now I lost it. Who said that? Who asked to get the help me out here. Who wanted the horns bigger?
All right, I'm looking as well. Devil, no, that's not it. But Rachel Benfield says, for the devil, perhaps like distant skull mounds rather than the one to add atmosphere. That's actually a good idea. Ooh.
You know, you could also, and this
like
is just
the Tim Curry legend horns.
If you wanted her to be more animalistic, like if you wanted the devil to have that kind of like scariness to it, you could also make her pound, like you know how we had the emperor in that position of like coming at you. We could do something similar instead of having her.
I got a flash. I can't believe I didn't think about this. Everything you say triggers me, Anna. Everything you say just works in my, somehow, whatever you say, it just works in my head. A goat hoof. She needs a goat hoof.
Yes, I like that.
She needs a goat hoof. And, you know, that's a little homage there to the Eshu in my particular in my particular pantheon, I guess you could say, my particular culture. Oftentimes you'll see the Eshu. And my grandmother used to horse an Eshu called Selbabon. And Selbabon had the horns and the pipe and the cloven hoof kind of thing.
Oh, look, Nikki Sparkle is saying that right now she looks as raw like the Queen of Wands in the stand. There is a similarity to that in the stance, yes.
Yeah, there's a power pose in the stance, yeah. Well, it is the power pose. No, I like it. I like these bold, brazen women. I like their power stance. Have you ever seen that TED Talk, guys, where they say that if you want to increase the level of power that you're emulating, that you stand in one of these three power stances, and one of them is like feet out and hands up, and you just throw your head back and you stay there for like 3 minutes, and then you go off and you go into your job interview.
I used to go like this. There was no power stance. All right, so I'm changing her feet to having like the hoofs. Do we want to put some like hair, like, you know, like have her legs kind of, you know, the goat aspect of it, right?
Yes. You already know the answer to these questions. I never say no to you. I never say no to you.
Right, let me, I have to look at some goats. I don't have a clear image of a goat leg.
Oh, no, look. Here, I'm going to send you an image because this is what's inspired me. God, thank you, technology. Thank you for being so awesome. Aren't we lucky? My grateful plot today a broadcast thing today is going to be technology. Eshu, in case you guys were wondering, Eshu is spelled E-X-U with a little at the end. Eshu Caveira. Umbanda. No, that's the wrong Eshu. Eshu, seu sete, Eshu, seu Lúcifer. Seu Lúcifer. That's not the right one. I'm trying to see the foot. Pagi. Eshu Pedicabri. Sorry, I am doing something. Pedicabri. Pedicabra.
Something like that. Hold on.
You got it to me quicker. I just look like my dad then. Yep. That exact thing.
Well, you email me. I mean, send me also what you have. But just
I can't seem to find one. I'm trying to look for the old images and it's pulling up. This is just in case you guys have never seen it. If you don't know what Eshu is, like this is an Eshu. This is the Malandro. That's the nice looking one. He's a pimp. Wow, there's a lot of images of Eshu here.
Amy Palmer is saying that amethyst would be a good choice as it is linked to intoxication, other worlds, and quitting habits.
Oh yeah, they do say that if you hold a piece of amethyst that you can't get drunk.
You cannot get drunk?
Apparently. I disagree because I used to stuff amethyst on my bra and I tell you what, I rolled home drunk. I used to pour myself into bed. In a former life before I was a mother. I can't find what I'm looking for here. I might actually, you know what I might do? I might see if my sisters will take a photo. Oh, they might not be able to though. I'll see what I can come up with at a later date anyway.
Okay, that's fine. Well, let's move to the next card because I have a pretty good idea on this one.
Okay. What are we doing? Justice.
We're doing justice?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I've got an idea for justice. Got a good one. So I'm going to draw inspiration for this particular card. Oh, by the way, just a custom. We're doing justice. Sorry to like justice. Let's do. I'm looking up at my list. I've got a list to keep me focused. The inspiration for this particular card comes from the Greek Amazons. So the archers and if you don't know the mythology, the Greek Amazons used to lop off a breast to make them better archers.
Really?
And they were the tribe of woman warriors, essentially the people that used to fight for victory, fight for fairness. Now, the fairness part I just threw in there. That's not necessarily part of the mythology. They used to fight. They were warriors. Their motivating factors, we're just going to call them justice. We're going to call them fair. Justice is a matter of perspective, isn't it? It's subjective.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's what I'm sort of going with. So the Greek Amazons. In this case, I would actually like there to be more than one central figure.
Okay.
And, you know, mostly because justice is often like associated to equilibrium, right? And usually you get, you know, Lady Justice with the, what do you call it? With the weights, with the scales, the balance, scales of balance. And so I'm thinking of more like two women standing back to back, facing opposite directions, holding different weapons.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes, Nikki, fighting for the greater good. We're going to call it the greater good. I can now go back. I know you mentioned this, but I don't think you saw. You mentioned using a stone. Oh, yeah, the stone. Yes. Yes, that's right. Hello, Willow. What are we yes-yesing to? Yes, we do. Like stepping into another world. Well, Chris Ann, yes. The deck is meant to be a step into a completely different world, a completely different arena. It's not your typical deck. It's not a beginner deck, but it's also not an advanced deck. It is a deck for those who want to read tarot. And I think that the symbolism is all there if you want to read it. And we have drawn a lot of inspiration from, Pixie's artwork and the Waite-Smith system. So it's the foundation for the inspiration, but it's not necessarily traditional. It's not what you would call a Rider-Waite clone by any stretch of the imagination. And it sort of teeters between Thoth and Rider in that regard. But I do tend to pull a lot of inspiration from the RWS. So that's...
Now, in terms of like tools that they're holding, like one is holding, what are we thinking? Are we thinking like a sword and a hammer? Are we thinking what do you...
I'm thinking bow and arrow for one, a short sword and an axe for the other.
Bow and arrow for one and short sword.
Short sword and axe.
An axe. Okay.
Both hands are busy on both sides, basically. One holding the bow, one drawing it. The other one will be holding axe, will be holding sword stance.
Yeah. Can we? I think this. I mean, I think that it would be really cool if we could have show them mid torso.
Yeah.
Back to back, because then we can play around with maybe some expressions, even if they're in profile, they could be looking a little bit towards like a semi-profile towards the viewer. If they're standing, they can be standing like this, but one could be looking at you, one doesn't have to be. So it can be like a play of what's what is going.
I like that.
Like Justice is looking at you. Which one of these two representations will you be getting, kind of?
In that case, right? So help me out here. Let's just play with this symbolism a little bit. If one side is armed, should the other side be passive? So in that case, if one side is holding the typical bow and arrow of the Amazon, should the other one be holding a harp or a mandolin or something?
Well, it depends. Do you want a representation of peace? It could be some sort like a white dove, or it can be like something that is so gentle, like a butterfly, kind of, or a feather. But feather has been used for I think justice before.
Yeah.
I believe the Mary L does that. No, maybe I'm wrong. I know there's a feather aspect in one of the cards.
There's actually a few. There's a symbolism as well of the feather having so much weight, and I've definitely seen the association of sorry, I just got distracted. Feather. I like the concept of a dove, but the dove for me, I mean, it's a beautiful bird, don't get me wrong. It's very angel though. It feels very angel. Well, is there another bird?
Well, I was just throwing ideas, like something that would represent. So if one is a warrior, the other one would have to be the opposite, right? So what?
Okay, let's Google this. You talk and I'm going to Google.
What visual representation would convey, the idea of acceptance, non-judgmental, you know, the opposite of what, you know, judgment is. Justice, sorry, not judgment, justice. So like somebody who forgives, or some type of I was thinking an animal, because, you know, it would be nice to have that within the a white raven. Somebody said, Gargoyle Mistress is saying a white raven.
What about a white raven?
That sounds nice.
That does sound nice, doesn't it? I'm looking up symbols for peace, and obviously I'm getting and the actual peace symbol. How about if I go into animals that symbolize peace? Animals that
would that make her a diplomat? Amber, what would make her a diplomat? The bird?
You know what? We need to change this. If there's two people standing there, we have one Greek Amazon and perhaps Athena. You know, someone who embodies the energies of Athena, not necessarily Athena. Isn't she the goddess of wisdom and battle strategy? She's
yes.
Is that the one?
Athena is.
Artemis is also very pure. The goddess Artemis, she's the virginal Greek god. I'm thinking within the context of Greece here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. Oh no, that's not what I thought it was. I'm learning so much right now.
Okay, what if one of them has her face, you can see the fit, like she's in they're standing in profile, side back to back, right? What if one has a helmet, like a warrior helmet covering the face, and the other one doesn't? So it's like one is shrouded and one is not.
I like that in reverse, actually. I like that idea. I think the Amazon should be unshrouded. She should have a very fierce expression on her face, and the other should be completely draped in white, completely covered in white, and holding something in her hand. So you've got two very different perspectives there. Like you've got two back to back, very, very different perspectives, but very together, like that back to back closeness. One guards the other, one's connected to the other. There's that element there. So a little bit of like the priestess energy, but very like, you know, very priestess, like very
like a cloud over
like
the face,
completely over her body, like completely white. She stands there completely white. I'm thinking harp. I don't know why, but I keep seeing this little golden harp. Googling harps. What does the harp symbolize? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking.
Symbolize. Can't spell today, and apparently. Symbol of the harp. Images.
The white one could be cradling a flame.
Yes, the flame would work as well. What does it freaking symbolize? Why did I... Oh dear. It can't be a harp. It can't be.
What is it? What does it mean?
Well, the harp is stamped on the front of the Irish passport, and that's not the part that I have a problem with. The Irish, see, I don't want to offend anyone, but the harp is very much embedded in the Bible. Apparently, there's a thing there with the harp in the Bible. So no harp.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either. I just saw like this. But now that you think about it, whenever you see sort of like Renaissance roof pictures, you've got cherubs with like little bow and arrows and plucking little harps. Yeah, it's a thing,
yes.
isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but yes. now I
now that I think about it,
now I get it. Yeah. The heart, yeah.
Okay, so shrouded. I think a dove is probably better. It's you know it's a much more visual representation of peace. Everyone recognizes it. It's very symbolic. Like it has rich in symbolism.
Hold that thought. Hold. It doesn't have to be an animal. It can be a flower. It can be like a lotus flower. It can be something that would convey also, like the opposite, like meditation, something, calmness, all that stuff, all that good stuff.
Flowers that convey peace. Holy doolies. So one is the energy of action, the other resonating and tranquility. Resonating. I don't understand that word. And tranquility. Yes. You've got two sides to the coin. The peace lily.
Peace lily. There you go.
The peace lily.
Yeah, because it doesn't have to be an animal. I was just like trying to think of elements that would.
Yeah, animals are so descriptive, so it's generally where I go. Generally, I'll keep going with my flower search though, because there's others. There's these other beautiful lilies.
Hold on, I can't. Yes.
Oh, that's me.
That's pretty.
Beautiful lilies there. That's very pretty. You could have even a white rose. Oh, that's very morning though. I like the peace lily. It's actually, the name is actually the Japanese peace lily, right? I have one. It's the only indoor plant I have. It's out in the living room. So I always have lilies around me. My
plants die, so I'm not.
I don't have the option of my plants dying. If you've not seen any of my husband's output, he is incredibly freaking creationist. He's very green man. Everything that he does is very green man. Like it gets out of control. Barren desert will be a tropical wonderland without any worry. Like give him a year and he'll transform an entire patch of land. He's incredible.
So yeah, do you want me to start sketching something then?
Yeah. Okay, so they're gonna go Greek Amazon, very like warriored up, as much as one can warrior her up.
Yeah, and I'm not once we, get off the
an olive branch. Ashwin song said an olive branch as well. That's very Greek. Extending the olive branch, isn't it?
Pretty. That's a good idea.
That's actually a really good idea. Yeah. Good for you.
Right,
good for you.
I like that down. Okay.
All right. In the meantime, it's the new moon, right? So, we've got rainbow and bifrost energy here. So we've got the bridging of ideals, which is very good for our card. My daddy's ringing me right now. So we've got the bridging of cards. So we're bridging. I like that. I like this card for the Bifrost. Anyway, I just wanted to give myself a little head clear, a little inspiration. Angela, I thought the lily was the flower of death, though. I might be wrong. Oh, no. It is the flower of death. It is the flower of death. But in this case, if there's aspects of war, you want to bring an end to those aspects of war. And that would be the closing of a cycle, which would be then considered a death. And, and the solidifying of a peaceful existence from that point forward. And imagine a white lady cupping flower, head of a lily. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm still digging this Ashwin Song's olive branch suggestion. And I feel like I need to moderately Google it. Oh, my dad did call. That's fabulous. Thanks, Dad. He's calling me back. He's calling me back about yurts, guys. I'm hella into off-grid living. And I want to embrace a more natural off-grid lifestyle. So we're thinking about actually downsizing all of our belongings, moving out of this house. We own this place, but we would rent it out and then section off a part of our backgrounds and live in a yurt in our backyard. How's about them apples? Wanted to know radical? That's a radical lifestyle change right there.
That's a cool idea. I wish I could do that.
Yes, well, I'm lucky.
I'm in Jersey, though. See, I'm in Jersey. Where am I going to go?
Come to Australia. Come to Australia.
I told you my husband was this close. He was thinking Australia, and then he remembered all the dangerous. Yeah, he's like, we're gonna die.
Look, we don't die that often.
Yeah, but we would because we have no idea what we're doing. So.
And so, right, so this is what we've been aiming towards. And so in context with the Bonestone and Earth Flesh, it's a very primal deck. It's very primeval, in fact. And when choosing the name for this particular deck, the word primeval kept on coming up, you know, for me over and over and over again. And I know that I wanted a deck that was very open, raw, tribal world, a very cross-cultural deck. And I didn't want to place emphasis on it being cross-cultural. I wanted it to just be, you know, very global and very open, very free, not just a deck in a little box depicting one little thing. You know, I wanted it to be very broad. Because for me, like, the tarot is the full spectrum of human experience. I've said it 1,000 times. And if it is the full spectrum of human experience, then it needs to feel quite vast. It needs to feel quite eclectic for me. And, you know, and that's exactly what I'm aiming to bring. I didn't want to bring elements of the modern world because I'm disinterested in the modern world. In fact, I'm so disinterested that I'm trying to go off grid and live as simply as I possibly can. I'm not letting go of any of my decks though. So yes, I'm still a collector at heart, even if I go off grid and live a more minimalistic life. Yes, look at all my babies. Like, when I look at my shelves, they're actually quite nice. I never actually look at my shelves when I'm looking at the camera. It's fabulous. Driving on the road is more dangerous than snakes and spiders and crocs and sharks. That's true, Willow. It's very true. And yes, I'll read some comments. How about that? If you guys have any comments that you'd like to write down, or like any questions, not comments, but questions that you'd like to ask, can I ask you to capitalize those questions and allow me to then be able to pick them out in the script a lot easier? Could there be a city in the background, half in ruin, half not? Ooh, that's a great idea. Amy Palmer says, could there be a city in the background, half in ruin, half not? You need a witch yurt. Yes, I do, Gargoyle Mistress. Yes, I do. And my hubby's on board. You'll need 2 yurts. Yes, we've got plans for 2 yurts. No joke. We've got space and plans for 2 yurts. Eventually, we'll probably have 3 yurts, and our yurts will probably be built by my husband, which makes me very, very worried. Thankfully, though, my father begins his nomadic trek at this time of the year. My father is an off-grid living off-grid, an off-grid person, and he has been for 5 years now. He lives in Tasmania in the Huon Valley, and he's been there on 28 acres of land for the last 5 years. We've owned that 28 acres of land for about, I want to say, about 7 years. So part of that land is ours, and we would like to try and do the nomad thing, backwards and forwards. All right, what have we got here? Ooh. I thought I saw oh, it's been retracted. Very cool. It's a beautiful thing. So, any questions about the deck, guys? Do we have any questions about the deck? I should really have music in the background. The deck is very Conan the Barbarian movie in the way of the vastness and non-cultural focus. Oh, thanks, Jessie. I quite like Conan, the old and the new. So that's a compliment. I'll take that as a compliment. And another thing also about the Bonestone is that we're trying to figure out a way to do a pre-sale with a little treat, 78 treats, and then a pre-sale. So we're going to have a pre-sale and a pre-sale. The pre-sale is going to have to be first in best dressed, really. So if you are interested in at all in that pre-sale, there will only be 78 of those, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. Size of the cards will be they will be Wild Unknown size. So standard tarot size, Wild Unknown, Prisma Visions, you know, standard rectangular. We did toy with a bigger card size, but again, it's all a matter of cost. And the cost is actually quite alarming when you think about it, when you break it down. You posted a link last time, but I was unable to connect to it on Facebook. That's weird. Have you been in the new Beauty and the Beast? Have you seen the new Beauty and the Beast? Like the Enchantress representation, completely off topic, but definitely witchy vibes with that forest. I haven't seen the new Beauty and the Beast. What will pre-order deck contain? The should I say what the pre-order deck will contain?
Yes, hold on. If you're saying that, let me let me get some stuff ready. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So the we're arranging this at the moment. So this is an idea right now. Obviously, Anna's been doing sketches, and so we are going to see if we can offer the original sketches, one per deck, obviously, which is Y78. And
yes, so yeah,
that's
You'd
the
be
idea
getting,
so far. Okay, that's the idea. It's like the logistics of that idea. We'll see.
You'd be getting this. This is pretty much what you would be getting. So this is like the pencil sketches of the original cards. So these are original sketches. The ink ones, you know, we can't give those out because they actually go on the way the process works. We do the sketch, the pencil sketch, and then we transfer it to the actual painting, and that is the under the actual artwork. So what you guys saw on that little video starts out with the light pencil, then it goes to ink, and then I just put the color on top of it. I don't do any of the coloring in Photoshop, so that's why it's you can't separate.
That's why it is the way that it is. That's why. So yes, the original pencil sketches will, if we can manage to make it work, be available with at least 78 of the pre sale cards. So there'll be a separate listing for that. When these two will come up at the same time, or very close together. Actually, I'll probably put the pre-sale up and then the pre-sale up, and there will only be a small amount of like, I shouldn't say small. There'll be probably around 300, 250 to 300 up there for grabs, and that's including this 78 pre-order decks. So I'm trying to just figure it out. I've still got to get this postage business sorted out, and that's taking a lot longer than I originally expected. So, but it's working, and I'm doing it every day. So I'm working on it every day. Wait, there's are you going to be able to make it more? Are you going to make it more human-based, based around animals, or an even mix of the two? That's a card from Stormy Day. I'm going to go for both. I'm going to go for an even mix. Animals are part of nature, and this is a very nature-oriented deck, so it stands to reason that there'd be a good, solid mix and relationship between the two. Let's think about the film. Oh, I like that. I'm looking forward to seeing this Beauty and the Beast, Amy. Will it be a borderless or a bordered deck? Oh, Rachel, it will be a borderless deck. So it will be borderless, 400 GSM, and sturdy box. At this stage, it's like a sturdy box with a little book that goes inside. That's the idea. So where will the listing be posted? The listing will be posted on Etsy, and the link will be, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post it in Etsy. I'm going to advise those in the group that I am posting in the next 24 hours. So depending on if I've got any glitches or anything happens, I'll be able to list the entire deck there. I'll give you guys a heads up. So as soon as it's live, I can then post the link to that particular product straight in, that particular listing straight in the group page. So you'll have the opportunity, and I'll try to give, you know, you guys the best head start that I can, and make it as, you know, do it that way at least. What else? Will there be a list? Oh, yep, I've read that one. How about if you were here tonight? We get first dibs. Please. It's impossible for me to do that. I'd have to put a separate listing for every single person, and that separate listing also costs. So that's the number of listings and the number of sales. It all equates to cost, and then it drives the price of the deck up. And I'm really trying to not drive it up, because it could get exponential. Like this deck, if I were to do everything that people have suggested, then I would have to charge close to $150 per Australian dollars per deck, if I were to include everything that people are asking me to do. And at this stage, I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, that's a ridiculous number for a deck. I wouldn't pay $150 for a deck. I'd want to, no matter how much I loved the deck. I just, I just don't want it to get out of control like that.
Unless it, if it gets picked up by a publisher, then they cover all those costs, and then obviously the decks become a little less expensive because they have their own little sources and stuff. So, but when you're doing it by yourself, the money that you get for the decks is pretty much from the pre-orders. So you put all that money into the printer. That's the way it goes. And then
this is a passion project. I'm not going to be buying a car out of this. I'm not going to be repainting my house out of this. I'm not going to be doing anything like that. This is really a passion project. And do you know where you're having them printed yet? I do, but I can't pronounce the name of the place. Yes, that'd be a nice Facebook announcement group. Yes. Facebook announcement. Oh, a Facebook announcement will be how it is. Do you have an estimate for the price already? Sort of. Sort of. It would be Australian, around $72 Australian. So if you're in the US, that's more. That's without postage just yet. And I'm trying to still work on making sure that I can get that down. And depending on the actual cost, that obviously the printer has quoted me a specific amount, and I've made minor adjustments to the size of the card. So originally I was going to go for a much squarer card, which means a lot more card stock, and I've made it a bit smaller now. So I haven't factored in that change. And so there should be a price difference there, and also the size of boxes and, the number of pages in the book, etc., etc. So
my connection just went down, so.
Oh, I can still see you though.
Okay.
Yeah, the Alice Tarot is expensive, and I think they don't do their last copies too.
Okay, I have a card here for you.
Woohoo!
All right, so let me swap this way. Okay. So, here we go. We have the Amazon. So I have her in. I have to look up, Amazonian attire, but from what I remember,
it's Xena Warrior Princess.
So that's pretty much what, we're gonna have some type of an armor on her. There's like a kilt, I think they have those kind of little skirts. There's also a cuff. There's the bow and the arrows in the hand. There's some arrows that can be seen are on her back, because they wear them. And then on the opposite side is the shrouded figure holding the olive branch.
Yeah. Yep. I like it. Perfection.
Somebody's asking, Ember is asking, do you have a guesstimate on time? Ha 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 ha. We just discussed that the other day.
Gosh, we were discussing that. Probably, honestly, not to alarm you, probably about 18 months. 18 months for 78 cards. Obviously, we're not doing this full time. The way you see us do it is that's when we do it. And occasionally we throw in a couple of different cards. And that's because we've got children. And then by the time that's finalized, there's a few little things that need to occur to the images beforehand, so it's an entire process. So we're looking at around 18 months. I would rather give you guys the 18-month mark, and and if I could get it to you even a month sooner, then that would be great. but I'll give you the fairest estimate, because I know that there are creators out there that put a deadline and they haven't been able to meet their deadline, and people turn freaking nasty over it. And I do not want nastiness directed at me. I do not want nastiness directed at Anna for whatever reason. So we're going to go wide with the time frame and see if we can't haul ass to really get done what we need to get done. And, you know, occasionally we have more time, you know, occasionally cards come about just so much easier. Like the devil card today came, you know, really quickly. Like it was 20 minutes. Like that card was quick. We've taken more time on justice than we have on the devil. So it's been, yeah. And we've also had some interruptions. So
and you know, if you do a book, then that's, you know, obviously that in itself is another side project that gets.
So I will be writing the little book here. I'll also be trying to write in accordance with the page numbers that I can actively fit, because if the book is too thick, then the box has to be bigger. If the box is then bigger, the box will cost more. All of this, it's a lot, guys. It's not an easy process. It is so, it's so tricky, and it's so finicky, and you know, it's a thing. Like it really is a thing. And so we're going to try and do this as quickly as we can.
You guys can just see the process, because you'll know where we are.
So, that's exactly right.
You know, you want to know where we are, you go and backtrack a little bit on the video, and it'll come up. So.
That's a thing. It's a thing. And we will be keeping you guys as posted as we can, you know, as things start to heat up a little bit. Right now we're at the, you know, I'm still working on the postage and handling. Once I have the postage and handling, I will put the postage and handling stuff up there, and so you can see what I've been up to in that regard. And you know, then I'm going to start really hooking into the book. I did have an intro. I really need to let this go. I lost my original intro. I'm not going to mention this again, but I've lost my original intro to the deck and to the book, and it broke my heart. Like it really did. And so I'm starting again, which is great. But my beautiful editor, Ange, has said, at least now you can send me snippets of the document at a time, and you'll know that I have at least a copy of it. So if anything should happen.
Awesome.
I did have an intro. I really need to. Oh, that's me. I can hear myself.
That's from my computer, because it froze again for some reason, and I was trying to see if it's just my little link here is doing its thing.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, I reckon we are close to wrapping up here. Is there anything else that we need to touch on? Have we meant to mention anything else? I should really write notes. Next time I'm going to write notes for you guys. And I'm going to put some...
Thanks for all the great ideas, guys. See?
You guys have been awesome. This has been great synergy. Like, we've managed to bang out 2 cards and show 3 cards, create 2 cards. The number 5 is very present in this video. And I'm really excited for our justice. I'm really excited for our devil. I'm really excited for all of our cards. As soon as they come to life, it's just like the biggest joy, like really the biggest joy. You can't rush perfection. That's exactly right. So shipping will be high, extra time to save up. Well, I will be able to tell you cost, and I'll be listing it at pre-order. But like I said, from the date of pre-order, we're going to give ourselves about 18 months. A pre-order will happen soon. Pre-order is going to happen relatively soon. I hope for the pre-order. I had hoped for it to be ready by the end of April, but like all things, this postage and handling business is taken so much more time than what's necessary. And I'm really trying to go through a more business process for this one. Otherwise, I'm going to have to hand write everything. Hey, and if push comes to shove, I'll hand write it. I'll just do it. I'll hand write it. It's not going to be a huge ordeal for me. But, you know, I'm doing this so that I can try and access a bit of cheaper postage for you guys. Even if it's 50 cents off, it's still 50 cents off. It could be $1 off here. It could be $1 off there. You know what I mean? So every little bit counts, and I'm trying to make it as affordable as I possibly can. So please know that I'm trying really hard here, because I don't know if you guys know this, but I collect tarot. I collect tarot, and I have purchased, I don't ever want to say the number. It's a lot. It's a lot. I've purchased a lot of tarot decks from all different parts of the world. And I can tell you, postage and handling to Australia, it fucks me off. It's so out of control, the postage and handling costs of our world, particularly in this era of e-commerce, right? So I sometimes just swallow the cost and swallow the rage that I feel at having to pay. You know, sometimes it's $40, 40 Australian dollars for a $50 deck. You know what I mean?
It's
from the
US
handling.
It's not. We have no. It's like you go to the post office and it's like, and it's really ridiculous because it's sometimes it's the same price as the deck itself. You know, so, but it's based on weight. So if like you go, it's like you know, $20 or something. But if you go an ounce over, it goes into like the other. It goes up in higher. So it's like, yeah. Okay, it's like an ounce. You're going at $10 more because of an ounce. Anyway, Nikki Sparkle wanted me to show the cards one more time.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just going to do that really quickly before we wrap up.
Sure. And I just wanted to say as well, like I was originally, if you guys know this Star Child Tarot, I was sort of modeling the deck around the Star Childs because of the size and because of the quality of the box, right? So I wanted about this size. When I took this to the post office to have it weighed, this is 530 grams, which means instead of paying $8.50 to ship it, I would then have to pay, I think it's $13 or $15 because it's 50 grams above what it's supposed to. Now, if I were to wrap this, which of course I'm going to bubble wrap the shit out of it so that it doesn't get damaged in any way. But that bubble wrap will then add more weight to it. And then the package will go over 500 kilo, which means I'm not going to be able to access the good, you know, the cheaper rate for it because of the sheer, you know, weight of it.
All right. Okay, Nikki, here we go. She wanted to show these for the people that got in late. So this is the moon card. And Avalon, did you have anything else that you wanted to say? We have the moths there that are coming out of her hair.
Yes, we've got that that lunar aspect and the beautiful moths. We've got the energy circle permeating. We have a very drawing down the moon feel. Now the moon has its own symbolism, and within that symbolism, we have the woman in the center of that energy circle in very much control of that symbolism. What is she drawing down? What do you feel like she's drawing down? Is she drawing down the power of the moon? Is she working with, you know, lunar energy in the form of accessing the collective unconscious? Like, what is she doing? And it's up to you to interpret that beyond that point, you know, in accordance with the cards that are on either side, above, below, crossing, you know, this particular card. So I think it speaks volumes.
Moon, High Priestess. So we got the Priestess, the black pillar, the white pillar, she's the white pillar, and also the knowledge that is behind her. Yep. With all the aspects, certain elements that are present in the previous cards that we created, we're incorporating them in because she has the knowledge of those cards, that information that is pertaining to those cards and their meaning, and so she's moving forward with that knowledge.
It's fabulous.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
She's fabulous. That's a great face.
Well, you wanted her to look very, you mentioned, yes.
Ethereal.
So
she's great. She's got a great face.
And the last but not least is the Empress. Let's see. Okay. So the Empress, as she is birthing life itself, she's in the active stance, active pose of giving birth. She is part of nature. She is merging with the tree, and also there's the branch that is cradling her belly. It's there to support her, and blue sky behind her. So those are the cards that were created from last session.
That's right. And then today we did the Devil and Justice. So I do believe that we have done extraordinarily well. And now it is time to wrap up. So, beautiful souls, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you very much for all of your input, for all of your energy, for all of your wonderful comments, ideas, of course, and just awesomeness, just general awesomeness. Again, we do have the group, the Bonestone and Earth Flesh Tarot, on Facebook. You can request to join. You will get some behind the scenes. You will also get first looks at some of the cards that we're creating. We still wanted to leave an element of surprise for you, which is why we did a couple of cards on the sly. Still give you a little something to look forward to when we do these live Google Hangouts. We always like to have that little bit of a surprise. So it just makes it really fun.
And we also have like
see a lot more. Sorry, Anna,
the
what did you say?
videos. Like I'm not going to do it for every single card because it takes a lot. I have to have my camera. It takes hours to do it, so I don't have enough film, so I have to like film, stop, and then download the film another section, and so it's like a whole process to piece it together. So I'm not going to do it for all 68 cards that are there, but I will continue to film some of the cards as they're being made, and so that will give you a little bit of insight on the creation process.
It's nice. It's a little extra something. I'm going to try and do some little out and about vlogs as well when I'm trying to organize things face to face with people, so that you can see a little of the drama that I have to face from time to time trying to get things done. So like I said, postage and handling at the moment. The import tax is something that I have to consider as well. So I'm looking into the import tax as well, because I'll have, essentially 500 decks coming in from overseas, and I have to consider that. 2 weeks time again, yes, but we might have to change the day, but I'll arrange that with Anna, mostly because now that I know that my daughter can open the door, I might need to do this on the Wednesday, which would then be Tuesday Anna's time, which might not actually work with her schedule. So we'll see. All right, guys. So sending you so much love, luck, peace, and joy. Be as bold as you are blessed. Anna, do you have anything that you'd like to say?
No, thank you for all the, yes, thank you for the ideas. And, it's actually very helpful for me to see all these things coming through from everybody and for the support. So it's been great.
Wonderful. Well, look after yourself, beautiful people, and we will chat to you soon.